our Open Electoral Data Academy, it's a good platform for collaboration and cooperation with such organizations as OPORA, but from other foreign countries. For us, it's like a platform of influence because Ukraine already had a good experience with openness of the different type of the data, and now we have to share this experience, especially with the countries who are already members of European Union.
When talking about democracy and fair elections, open data plays a vital role so that CSOs and the interested persons as well as public can follow the developments and make sure that the processes went fairly. In Georgia, there is a mixed situation regarding this. Some data is available openly on the website and everybody can have access to it. But the challenges, there are still some challenges that we face. Most of them is that it's not that easily analyzable because they are not accessible in these analyzable formats. So there is still much work to do regarding that, and CSOs are working together to advocate for more accessible and analyzable formats of the data.
In Tunisia, open electoral data is accessible to all stakeholders of the electoral process, for NGOs, for political parties, for media, for all stakeholders who intervene in the electoral process. This electoral data can be found on the website and on the Facebook page of the Electoral Commission. However, sometimes there is some data who needs more times. We request sometimes to allow, for example, to candidates to prepare documents, or for NGOs to have this time to prepare themselves, for example, for the observers or for to get accreditation.
We have relatively a lot of open data accessible for everyone. However, there are also the space or areas where we can complain on this. The special one is about the data related to financing of the election campaign by the political parties or the candidates. They are not published during the elections or just at the moment of the election day, but only can be published only 1 month after the election day only. They are still gathered on the paper version, so they are very difficult to make some kind of analysis of them, and they are not very easily accessible even if you ask for them the State Election Commission.
Some data is available and can be reused. In other cases, it needs either to be quite extensively edited or is not there. So basically in political finance, both for political parties and for campaign finance, data is becoming better, so it's a process, and I would say also due to our efforts it's becoming more and more available. So political parties are publishing also in editable formats. On the other side, for example, data on gender of candidates or age, which was available a few years ago, is not longer published for the elections. So it also depends from elections to elections. So it's rather a practice. It's not necessarily a very clear standard.
The situation is very bad because we don't have any kind of systematic approach to opening election data, and eventually our election administration and our Central Election Commission is bombing us with a lot of information. However, those information are impossible to use in a proper way. So basically we just have some presentations in a large number of documents which can be read because they are mostly, images that are being published with a lot of names, with a lot of data, but unfortunately any systematic attempt basically to provide open data doesn't exist.
Some of our information are published in an open format, such information like election results, but mainly very important and with huge impact on elections is not in the open format, so we need to obtain this information in such a format to analyze and to make some reports based on this information. So we need reports in an open format regarding political parties' financing, also about electoral contestants' reports during the electoral period. Also, it will be useful to have in open format the information about electoral complaints. And most important, it's information about political parties and electoral campaigns donors. We need all this information in open format and also accessible to everyone and not depends on your activities and your goals.
Well, actually, when we are talking about open election data in Bosnia and Herzegovina, there is no, how to say, maybe systematical structure of open data. Definitely there are some informations that are publicly available and would fall into category of principles of open data, but what is necessary to say that there is a lot of room to improvement, and there is need to work aggressively in such manner to be able to implement all those principles of open data, such as granularity and need to something for something to be timely published, or something to be much more specific or free to use.
Citizens should have the right to oversee the work of their elected representatives and their government, right? So they're paying taxes, they're electing these people, so they want to make sure that they're doing everything correctly. And sometimes what, like fraud and other kinds of manipulation, they don't happen up in the open. And so having open election data or open data in general, helps citizens kind of dig deep and kind of analyze the information and look anything that doesn't look right to do further investigation. So it's about both kind of creating these incentives for manipulation, but also kind of in the principle that citizens should be able to oversee the work of their government and government institutions.